Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears up to some of the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. Well, this particular story has everything to do with President Trump and our entire country and its borders and this whole situation with ICE and immigration. I think Trump is taking a kind of nebulous, trunculated way of addressing the immigration issue, and he is removing thousands of people, immigrants, legal and or illegal, out of the country. They say that ICE agents under the Trump administration have arrested nearly 75,000 people with no criminal record, data reveals, and that nearly 1/3 of the people arrested by immigration agents during Trump's second administration have no criminal record. So what is going on here? Mind you, if you look at Donald Trump's or President Trump's wife, Melania, she came in as an immigrant and had to get immigration status in order to be a U.S. citizen. So it seems a little bit of a conflict of interest, a little bit of hypocrisy and dichotomy here with President Trump and his whole ambition to make this immigration issue the number one enemy of the state, so to speak. So let's get into what's going on and how is this turning out for Trump's administration so far. So, despite President Trump's insistence that increased immigration raids during his second term have focused on deporting violent offenders, remember that's what they kept preaching and marketing, that the ICE agents are there to get rid of these violent, criminal, illegal immigrants. That it says that even though their focus has been on deporting violent offenders, nearly 1/3 of these immigrants had no criminal history at all, not even a traffic ticket or a driving violation. The ICE data doesn't account for arrests by Border Patrol, which Trump has used to raise cities like Chicago and Los Angeles in recent months. Despite President Trump's claim that federal immigration agents are working to rid the United States of dangerous criminals, new data shows that almost 75,000 people arrested by ICE in his first 9 months had no criminal record at all. No criminal record. The University of California, Berkeley's Deportation Data Project recently obtained data on nearly 220,000 people arrested by Immigration and Customs Enforcement between January 20th, the date Trump took office for his second term, all the way up to October 15th of 2025. That data, which was compiled by an internal ICE office and made public in a lawsuit filed against the agency, showed that almost 1/3 of those arrested in that time frame had no criminal record. I keep reinforcing, no criminal record. He said he was going to rid us of the United States of all the illegal immigrants who were violent criminals. For those who had been convicted in the past, the data does not distinguish between minor offenses and violent crimes. The data contradicts what the administration has been saying about people who are convicted criminals and that they are going after the worst of the worst, said Ariel Ruiz Soto, a senior policy analyst at the Migration Policy Institute, which that person told NBC News. Notably, the data does not include information on arrests made by other agencies like Border Patrol, which also has been dispatched to Trump-targeted cities, including Chicago, Los Angeles, and Detroit, during his second administration to ramp up immigration operations. DHS, Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, posted on X about how she and Trump, who's 79 years old, were working to kick out killers, leeches, and entitled junkies. That's the moniker or the reference name that they are giving to many of these illegal immigrants, which is unfortunate. And then she goes on to say that our forefathers built this nation on blood, sweat, and the unyielding love of freedom. She says our forefathers. Well, I don't think it was her forefathers that built this nation. It was the forefathers of people that look like me and you, people of color, Native Americans, Africans, etc., that built this country. And of course, the only individuals who really had a right to say that they are originally from North America or the United States of America would be the Native American Indians. Even black people who have an African ancestry migrated from Africa or Brazil. So she said our forefathers built this nation on blood, sweat, and the unyielding love of freedom. And how can you talk about unyielding love of freedom when the slave trade and people who were being maligned as workers and had no choice were the people that built this country? Said, not for foreign invaders to slaughter our heroes, suck dry our hard-earned tax dollars, or snatch the benefits owed to Americans. We don't want them, not one. This is what DHS Secretary Kristi Noem wrote. And Stephanie Miller threatened to fire ICE officials who didn't detain at least 3,000 migrants a day. So they had a minimum, they had a criteria or a number of people that they wanted arrested each and every day, and the number is 3,000. Miller also reportedly threatened the job security of field officers that fell in the bottom 10% of monthly arrest numbers. Doesn't that sound familiar from back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s? Definitely driving while black, where you would go through some of these municipalities throughout many of your major cities, and police officers were writing tickets like crazy. You ran a red light, you were driving 5 miles over the speed limit. You don't see any of that very much post the pandemic, post BLM, Black Lives Matter, the George Floyd era. Now you can drive as crazy as you want through many of our major cities and the police don't do anything. But there was a time, for you young folks that don't know, where there was a certain data, a quota for the number of tickets that each police officer had to write each month to pay for those salaries and support those police municipalities within each one of those cities. So it talks about federal law enforcement officials who spoke with the outlet also said the Trump administration's focus on immigration cases was pulling time and resources from other law enforcement priorities. There is such a priority on making immigration arrests that it takes longer to get answers on anything else. Something that used to be resolved in a matter of days now takes weeks, a law enforcement official told NBC. Also, President Trump said in an interview a few months ago that he approved of ICE agents sometimes using violent tactics to ensure the safety of our U.S. citizens and the arrest of these so-called illegal immigrants, because you have to get these people out by any means necessary. Trump has frequently said that his administration would work with deported immigrants who wish to return to the country legally. However, several immigrants in Boston preparing to become U.S. citizens were reportedly pulled out of a line just before their oath ceremony based on their country of origin falling on a Trump restricted list. So remember, Trump is going after Venezuela heavily, in places like Honduras, some of your third world small countries. Trump has Somalia in Africa. He is targeting certain individuals, certain immigrants, in their countries, and he doesn't even want them in here, even if these people are going through the proper process to become U.S. citizens. Here in Boston, just before they were taking their oath and standing in line, he had them pulled out and had them arrested and getting deported. Tell me what you think about that. WGBH, a National Public Radio member station, reported that U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, officials approached hopeful citizens who had already completed the lengthy citizenship process, been approved to be naturalized, and were preparing to pledge their allegiance to the United States. And they were told that they could not continue the process. So this is happening for people that are trying to get legitimate citizenship. Trump just wants them out. And if you notice, these are all poor countries and people of color. This is not happening to people that come from Iceland, Ireland, those countries like that. I think you get the point. In a statement to NBC News, a DHS spokesperson responded to the report by saying that the Trump administration is making every effort to ensure individuals becoming citizens are the best of the best. So I guess he's just going to pick and choose based on his outline and the box checkoff on who he determines, or his administration determines, who will become a good citizen versus a bad one. How does he have a crystal ball to make that determination? Citizenship is a privilege, not a right, the DHS spokesperson added. We will take no chances when the future of our nation is at stake. Oh, wow, this whole ICE and this immigration situation, we went from one side of the pendulum on the left all the way over to the right. So during the Biden, Kamala Harris administration, where Vice President Kamala Harris was supposed to have been the border czar, we let tens of millions of people in, 15 to 20 million. No vetting, no vaccinations, no criminal history, background check. Just open the borders. Blindsided and just let any and everybody in. That was the pendulum all the way to the left. And now under the Trump administration, the pendulum is swung all the way to the right, where he is blindly deciding that he's just going to pick these people of color based on their country and whether they are almost to the naturalization of becoming a U.S. citizen, standing in line to become one, doing all the right things with no criminal history. Trump is saying, get them all out of here. So there was a blind swipe to the left by letting all these folks in, and now there's a blind swipe to the right on determining who can stay and who has to go. Tell me what you think. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience.